I want to speak briefly on the deadly game that's being played by so many so-called Black Americans. I want to bring your attention to an article that I read on last night. The article title is Police Arrest Man Accused of Fatally Stabbing Woman at Oakland BART Station. A manhunt Monday ended in the arrest of a man suspected of fatally stabbing an 18-year-old woman and wounding her sister in an unprovoked attack at a BART station in Oakland, the third death in the transit system in a week. John Lee Cowell, 27, boarded the same train as the slain victim Nia Wilson and her two sisters at the Concourse station Sunday night, Bay Area Rapid Transit Police Chief Carlos Rojo said in a Monday news conference. When all four of them got off 6 stops later at the McCarthy station, where the sisters planned to transfer, Cowell is accused of very rapidly launching an attack on Nia and her sister, 26-year-old Latifah Wilson. Still on the platform, he stabbed both several times with a knife, including in the neck, Rojo said. In my close to 30 years of police experience, it was one of the most vicious attacks that I've seen, the chief said Monday. Nia's sister, Nishiya, came to her aid immediately, applying pressure to her neck wound. But the 18-year-old died at the scene. Latifah was taken to a nearby hospital where she was in stable condition on Monday. Now, I'm not going to read any further. I'm going to put the article on the bottom and you can read it for yourself. But what's quite interesting to me is not long ago, maybe a few days ago, Tariq Nasheed made a video regarding the Oath Keepers that was protesting in front of Maxine Waters' house, or they had plans to protest in front of Maxine Waters' house. And he was bragging about how all of the black people went down there and band together and protest and chased those white supremacists away. They were boasting and bragging about it. There was a news article. I watched on the news where they talked about that and how, all the blacks were gathered and some of them were saying black power, black power, black power, black power. Well, a few days later, 2 black females was on the transit system. And a white dude came out of nowhere and started stabbing them up, which I believe it was a retaliation. Now, I think that what a lot of black folks have done was stirred up a wasp net. They stirred up that white supremacy wasp net. And many blacks now are going to be stung. A lot of innocent blacks are going to be stung. And those same cowards that got on the internet behind ghost accounts or making videos, always talking about white supremacy and stirring the nest, all of those same devils, after this incident occurred, Tariq Nasheed got on a video and started talking about, I told you, did not tell you. Now everybody want to be an internet prophet. Everybody want to predict. You stir the nest up, knowing what could happen. And then you predict what's going to happen after you stir that wasp net. And then when the wasps came out and start stinging, then you get on your soapbox and say, I told you this was going to happen. Those white supremacists, you can't trust them. You got to beware. This is war and all this nonsense. And y'all know you are not going to do anything but talk. Look at all of the black lives that were taken by police, by George Zimmerman, by the dude that went and shot up that church. Black people talked about it. They talked about white supremacy. They talked about how we got to come together. And nobody did a thing. George Zimmerman is still walking the street. And I always say that. So I think there's a certain group of black people that purposely instigate racial attacks so that they can get on their soapbox and say, I told you so, hyping up other people and inspiring or encouraging other people to rise up and talk about black power and white supremacy. And then if anybody like myself speak out against it, now we become racial names. The only people I really hear talking about white supremacy and racism is black people. There are certain YouTubers, I can't watch their videos for too long because it's negative. And I really don't want to feed into that negative energy. All you hear about is white supremacy, white supremacy, white supremacy, white supremacy, cracker this and cracker that, and white supremacy. And we ain't doing this, and Donald Trump this, and Donald Trump this, and Donald Trump's a racist, and this is a racist. Maxine Waters stood up and got on her soapbox and was telling people to attack Trump supporters and those that work for Donald Trump. She said attack them in the supermarket, attack them at the gas station, wherever you see them, attack them. That's a call. Now, Maxine Waters goes back to her nice house in the suburbs. Whereas innocent black people like this young black girl lost her life. And it was really sad watching the news clip on that. The news was talking about it and they had the father on there and he was crying and talking about he couldn't believe that it actually happened to his baby girl, his daughter. See? And according to what I'm hearing the media say, it was unprovoked. It was innocent. So now she has to pay the consequences for these ignorant folk that get on social media and keep hitting at the wasp net. They know that those wasps are going to come out of there. And they're going to start stinging and attacking people. And that's what happened. And don't be surprised if more situations like this begin to start happening. And it's interesting because blacks are some of the first ones that would get on their soapbox and talk about white supremacy and all this other nonsense. And they don't attack white people. They attack people that look like me or that look like them. See, they're quick to go up under a ghost account and attack me verbally. Too coward to show their face. So there you get on your soapbox and talk about white supremacy and what we got to do, and you making these videos for views. And then when situations like this happen, you do nothing about it. It's sad that the family of this young lady had to stand up and say, the young man says, stand down. Don't do nothing, black community. Don't tear up our neighborhoods. Like, what is that going to do? What results do you get out of tearing up your own neighborhood that you got to go back and live in? You have to go back to those communities. The white man don't. He go to his little suburban area and they sit back and watch you act like animals on the news, tearing up your own communities. And then complaining about what the white man is doing, or what Donald Trump is doing, or what the coons are doing, or the Sambos, right? These are the names that they call black people, but yet when situations like this article happen, which I'm going to place on the bottom, you guys check it out, nothing happens. It dies out. It dies out, it's forgotten. Another young black girl is gone, and what do these demons do? Get back on the internet again and start provoking more. Knowing that they're too coward to do anything. I don't blame black women for leaving black dudes, man. I don't blame them. Because it's been proven that most black men cannot protect their women. And I've mentioned in a video in the past that black women are the most unprotected women on the face of this planet. They have no protection. The only time black dudes come and want to call themselves protecting the black woman is when he's looking forward to get between her legs. When he's expecting to get something, yeah, that's when you want to try to defend her. And it's always against another person that look like you. Even behind prison walls, this white dude won't be touched. He would probably link up with another white supremacist group, and the black dudes won't do nothing. See, so you have a lot of instigators out there, a lot of instigators, and I made videos on my Fearless 2005 channel talking about these race wars. So you want a race war. And I've even warned you that you have no idea what you're asking for. Because when situations like this occur, or when police shoot down an unarmed black male or female, guess what? Those cops end up walking unless he's black. If it's a black cop that shot a white person, oh, he's going to do time. He's going to pay for that. Why? Because you're not in control. You're not in control. You're too divided. And I mentioned time and time again, a house divided within itself will not stand. So if you're divided now, how do you expect to come together and try to defeat white supremacy, as you call it? You can't trust black people. I would not trust a black person on a combat field. I won't, because you would turn your back on me real quick. I wouldn't be able to close my eyes around you. That's the type of energy that black people, primarily black males, have created for themselves. So now your women and your children are unprotected. When situations like this occur, these two women are on the transit system and there's a sneak attack. And I tell you, when you disturb that Wasp net, you don't know when the attack is going to come and you don't know how it's going to come. You just don't know. And then when you start talking about retaliation, the first thing that these coward demons do to get on the computer behind a ghost account, the first thing they want to say is like, well, what do you expect we to do? They got guns. Well, you had guns when you killed each other in the hood. Just recently read an article where a lot of death, of course, occurred in Chicago. Nothing's being done. But yet, a cop shoots a dude that's got a gun and turned around at the gun, at the cop, and now they protesting. Talk about the cops ain't supposed to do that. You're supposed to be protecting us, but you don't like the police. You're talking about the same people that you don't like, that you say F the police. You're saying that they're supposed to protect you. They're supposed to stand down and just let you do what you want to them. And they don't defend themselves. But you say F the police. And then when something like that happens, oh, they're supposed to be protecting us. See, that's those games that you guys are playing. You guys play too much. You playing these games, man. You need to stop playing these games, because while you behind and you got fools that actually sit there and listen to you. They listen to you rant on about white supremacy and you like injecting, and they're receiving that negative energy. And now they become ministers of you, taking that negativity into the world, into their own communities. I sit back and I watch a lot of stuff that's occurring now. And the anger, the amount of anger and hate that has grown in the so-called Black Americans since Donald Trump. And I watch his actions. I always listen to all his speeches because I want to hear exactly what he said, because I don't trust the printed media. Because we know that they twist and they lie. He say one thing, they'll twist it, and then they give it to you, and then black people, take it and start posting on Facebook, spreading their poison, their lies. Black people spreading it, stirring up more hatred. And I sat back and questioned and say, why are people so angry? What did he do to you to make you so angry? In all the presidents that's been president since this America began. Even if you look back as far as slavery and what happened to the so-called Africans that allegedly came from Africa. If you look at what was done to our ancestors compared to Donald Trump in 2018, and you hate him more, you actually teamed up with the Democrats, the ones that actually started the KKK, the ones that got you in the condition that you're in today and want to keep you in that condition. They're fighting Donald Trump to keep you in that condition. And you're helping them. That same Democrat party, you're helping them to destroy you, to keep you where you are. But yet, you're attacking a man that have said nothing racially. I haven't seen anything racially. He's just talking about making America great again. Right? And the things, I'm watching his actions. And he's doing a lot more than any other president before him has done. He's keeping his promise. And they're fighting him. And off the subject, but I'm thinking like, okay, they talking about he committed treason. Now let me ask you this question, black people, or even white people if you're watching. If the United States intelligence and FBI and CIA and the alphabet boys did to you what they're doing to Donald Trump, would you trust them? Would you speak well of them? Even if you're in another country? Will you talk about how great they are? While they're constantly destroying you, they're following you around, trolling you, trying to destroy you. Would you speak well of them? Would you trust them? So why do we expect Donald Trump to trust the so-called intelligence here in the United Snakes of America? So, your brag, or better yet, Tariq Nasheed and other blacks were like applauding and celebrating because the Oath Keepers were chased away. And now people are crying. They're bereaving. In one interview, I can hear the woman in the background just screaming and wailing and crying, man. You can feel her pain, man. You can actually feel this woman's hurt and pain. But yet you have so many blacks that will get on social media and keep poking at that bear. You keep poking at it until they react. And now you want to play victim. You wanted a race war. You kept poking at the Wasp net. You kept hitting at it. And now that the Wasps are attacking, you now are crying. And now you're going to get back on the internet and start talking about white supremacists and we in war now and and all this other nonsense, and you're not going to do nothing. You're gonna, at the end of the day, you're gonna put that cell phone down, that iPad or that Android or however you access the internet, you're gonna put that down and go on about your business. Thinking no one knows who you are. Forgetting that your IP address has already been tracked. And so you walking around thinking you got away with it while you spreading that poisonous venom in your own community and in this world. So it's unfortunate what happened to this family. But so-called black people are responsible for this. You rebel rousers. Those of you that's out there rebel rousing, that's talking white supremacy and the white man, and you got all this anger and hatred in you, and you don't even know why you're angry. That's like a person having 2 hands full with food and talking about they're still hungry. So I'm going to put the article on the bottom. You guys feedback and tell me what you think, but you're playing a deadly game. You're playing a deadly game. You get behind the internet or the computer screen. You don't show your face. You don't have videos, and you talk mad junk to people, thinking that you're going to get away with it. But you know what? There's always karma. Always find a way to track you down. I've talked in the past about how death slow walks you. When it's your time to go, and there's a lot of y'all that's dying before your time, but death will slow walk you. See, while you think you're getting away with trolling people online and stirring up these racial conflicts, and you get on the internet and make videos and talk about white supremacy and stir the nest even more, you think you're getting away with it? Karma's got a way of finding you. Those that have ears to hear, let him hear what Fearless is saying to you. Karma has a way of finding you. And you think you're getting away? You think you've gotten away? You're sadly mistaken. So I'm going to end the video, but it's just interesting. I sat back and I'm watching this, and it's like sad, man. It's like my heart cried for these people, man. And it's like these girls, man, allegedly is innocent. Now, there's a photo of her holding a gun. I don't know if that's a legal firearm or not, but she's holding a gun. And see, I'm going to tell you young people that's listening to this video, and I care less what you call me. I care less. I've lived through the civil rights movement, man. I've heard just about every name in the book, man. So what you say is not new. It only shows your level of consciousness. It shows what you lack, your ignorance, your level of ignorance. That's all that shows, is your level of ignorance. So call me anything you want to call me. And at the end of the day, I just block you, right? But like I said, karma's got a way of finding you. And young people, those of you that listen to what I say, that's in the range of my voice and you hear me, listen, y'all got to stop that madness, man. Stop. It's like you got a future ahead of you, man, and you're destroying your own future and the future of your children. Especially y'all that have children. You get on here and troll, man, and karma finds you. Next thing you know, oh, he was a good person. He's got children, or she's got children. This could be a young woman, and this is throwing no shade on her, but this, for all we know, this could be one of these females that get online and say grimy things, or somebody in her family. You know, it's tight, but it's right. You may not like it, but it's true. Just like a lot of y'all get on here with blank accounts and you say things to people. You attack people, man. You talk about white supremacy and racism and all this other nonsense. Like I said, there's certain people, man, that I used to like listening to their videos, but now it's like everything is just negative, man. Everything is white supremacy, and I have to turn off that, man. I can't listen to it. You know? So, young people, y'all really need to change, man, because when you start posting, you got all this money, drug dealing, posting drugs, and guns, and illegal guns at that. And then when something like this happens, the first thing the media does, which you call white supremacy, the first thing that media does, the same media that you guys are collaborating with against Donald Trump, that's the same media. That same media that you're collaborating with against Donald Trump is now going to put up the worst of the victim. She's the victim, but they posted where she's on Facebook or somewhere holding up a firearm, a handgun. And then you have blacks that say, well, white people do it too. And then they want to post all these white dudes holding up guns. You forget where you are. You forget that not too long ago, the so-called black Americans were in captivity. And now you think you're 110% equal? See, so you guys are under a strong delusion. Young people, be careful what you post on the internet, man, because I'm telling you, it's going to come back, it's going to haunt you, or it's going to haunt your family if you happen to be a victim like this young woman. That happened to Trayvon Martin. When Trayvon Martin was killed, they started posting when he had weed and he was sticking up his middle finger and he was just doing all kind of nonsense, man, throwing up gang signs. They call gang signs. He was the victim, but they used what he posted on the internet against him. So young people, y'all better wise up. You better wise up. Yeah, you could call me old man. You can call me all the racist names that you want to. But you know what? I lived my life, man. Never been behind prison walls. Never been behind jail cell. Never seen a jail cell. The madness that you guys are dealing with today, I've never had to deal with that. Neither did any of my sisters nor my brother. We never had to deal with that nonsense. Even our cousins and our cousins, first and second cousins, third cousins, I've never known any of them to have to deal with what you guys are dealing with today. All praises to the Most High. Right? So you guys are under a curse, man. You guys are taking a curse to yourself. And I didn't mean to talk this long. I didn't mean to say all of this, but it needs to be said, man. It's like y'all have to stop that madness. You're creating an environment that you really don't want, and you don't want for your children. You don't want your children to grow up in this environment, man. Think of all the kids, man, that's now motherless or fatherless because their mother and father made the wrong or bad choice. There's some foolishness to bring that curse or that judgment upon them. And now that child has no parent. The father's no good. He's out doing what he want to do, and he don't want responsibility of his kids that's left behind after the mother was killed. And his family don't want nothing to do with that kid because they raised their own kids, and they not even living right. And then her family barely want that child because it's like, now we got another mouth to feed. On top of that, they're bereaving. So why do you want to put your children in that type of situation? You are now creating what you're blaming the white man for. You're creating that for your children. So your children have to grow up without parents, without right guidance, because of all this foulness that you're doing right now, even behind the computer screen. Just shows how ignorant you are and how much of a coward you are. So again, an innocent young black girl was killed allegedly. And I'm going to see, I already know what's going to happen. Blacks are just going back to sleep. Another black girl gone. They're going to get up, talk about white supremacy and the white man, this white man, this white man, this. And don't be surprised if there's another attack by one of those wasps that was in that nest. So feedback, tell me what you think. It's a sad day. Until next time, I'm fearless.